there we go. We made it home after dropping off John to school. Now, that van needs to go in that ginormous tent. But the first thing we gotta do is we gotta get in there and rearrange everything in the garage so that the ice racer projects and the one all the way over there can get in the garage so that the van can go here for me to work on it. And then we can get started. Alright, so I'm standing behind the camera. I wanted to show you guys what happens if I turn on one of these new headband light things that I picked up. That is amazing. So these are the cheap headband lights that you can pick up right now, and literally this entire thing is glowing from this one little headband light that's USB charged. This is not what's going to live in here. This is going somewhere else. But I also wanted to show you guys these cheap LED lights that I set up out here. So give me just a sec to shut this down and we'll plug these lights in. So the button is a little irritatingly on the back of your head, but there we go. Now let's plug these in, because obviously I don't want to have to wear a headband the entire time. So there we go. That looks pretty good. So there's those. Those are nice and cheap. I think they were like 30 bucks on Amazon. I'll make sure there's a link for both the headbands and those. But there's our door. And there's that. We should have plenty of work area for the project coming in, which hopefully we'll have in tomorrow after a day of cleaning. Be right back. Hi, so here we are. We've got the van cleaned off. I gotta go grab my Hulkman booster pack because the battery in this thing is dead. But what I wanted to show you guys was this is all cleaned up. No more junkyard. And this, as you can see, the dock has been totally removed so that we can be able to come down here and test and tune with the ice racers and everything. As it is right now, we've still got plenty of open water out on the pond. We've probably got, my bet would be at least 2, maybe the end of 3 more weeks before we can go out on the pond. But the dock is out of the way, which gives us an area on the outside of the pond that is roughly about the size of what we were racing last year. Now, let's go grab a battery and see if we can manage to go and kick this bugger over. I need to fix the carb on the GT. I've got a new one. I just haven't felt like putting it on, and I think I probably should. Well, we're going to see if my camera will pick this up. But I popped that off, and you can literally see the ethanol sludge in the bottom of it. See how there's one layer? See if I can get my finger in it. See, there's one layer right there, and then the gas layer. That would be why it is that this is not happy. So we're going to take 5 seconds, hunt around in the garage, see if I have another OPE top gasket. Maybe have to go make one, and we'll be back. Alright, this is another OPE myth that I wanted to touch on. You can see I pulled the drainage plug right there, but the drainage plug actually goes in at an angle on some of these, and if that's the case, all of that sits right there, and as you can see, there's a ridge here and a ridge right here. So it is literally worthless to try and spray carburetor cleaner in there and all kinds of other stuff most of the time, because it doesn't actually knock any of this out through that hole.
And you didn't think to do that a while ago so you wouldn't waste gas?
No, I needed it to cycle the carb.
Oh.
But I figured that the viewers would want to actually hear me yelling directions. Okay, right? Straight. You're amazing. I love you! Alright, so we got our booster pack here with the air compressor that was in our last film. And let's see whether any of these tires will actually pump up. Now, all of these were dry rotted, and they have ice racing spikes screwed into them. So, let's see how many end up actually surviving after all of this. The other thing about pumping them up, if you've never dealt with ice-in climate, is that it helps with breaking the rubber free to make this easier to move.
Yes, boy.
Well, there's one. So I'm expecting all of these to come back to life because we did the old school trick of filling them up with about a half a quart of used automatic transmission fluid in order to seal them up really good before storing them. But, uh-oh, this one's iced on. There it goes. But you never know. Sometimes old school tricks just don't quite cut it on something that's really dry rotted.
Come here.
I'm sure a lot of you are probably asking why I don't just try and fire it up and drive it out. It's because this year we have had a bumper crop of field mice, and they have gotten in and destroyed the coils in almost everything that sat here this year. So I don't dare to try and fire it up and have it catch something on fire. That one's actually still got air in it, but we're going to pump it up anyway because it'll make it easier. I don't dare try and fire it up and drive it out of here without actually fully tearing down the top. From 0 to 10 to 12 psi. And we're at 75% on that, and I've pumped up 3 other tires today. Not bad.
Why did you get this to me? Oh, you don't like this?
Alright, right there is where that John Deere was. And right there is an underground mouse nest. And that is why we didn't start it.
Come on, muscles.
Muscles. The problem is my muscles are currently sitting beside you, not running right.
Hey, I helped you earlier.
I know. Alright, so we put everything in there further than it needs to be, so we could stuff in that last one. Alright, so we got our Hulkman, which is hot wired to be always on. And I'm using this out of the fact that I don't feel like dealing with the 30-second timeout, just in case we have any kind of alternator gimmick or glitch. Alright, so the tires on this thing are pretty well bald on the rear. And they're not good snow and ice tires, so once we start moving, it's going to be all or nothing. Uh-oh, you guys are going to get run over. Well, I guess I better go find out what came in. My camera hates me, but can you guys tell from here exactly why I stopped where I did? Give me a sec. Let me speed this up. Yeah, a problem. And I actually deliberately lifted the front of it on blocks when I built it. So, that's up on 6 inches worth of rise already. So those ladder bars got to come off, whether I want to or not, which they were coming off anyway. But then we should clear after that. Although, whether we're going to actually fit the full length of it is going to get a little cute. I don't know. Well now, those are a bit on the rusted outside. So, I think it's kind of interesting to notice this is the one that was on the front, just back from the windshield. This was the one in the middle. And this one here that doesn't look all that bad was the one on the very end. I wonder if this one ended up getting like sandblasted because of the wind coming up over the windshield. What do you guys think? Why do you think one looks totally screwed up compared to all the others? Alright, we'll throw you guys in the tripod and see if we can make it underneath that now. Slightly to that side, preferably without running over my 3-ton jack. Well, there we go. We proved it'll fit. We've got to bring it in just a few more inches. I'll come over here so you guys can see. So we've got the bumper sticking out about a bumper length. But when we come around here, you can see that once we clear out this stuff, we'll have plenty of work area on this side. And when we come around here, we've got enough room to move it forward here so that we can work on it. We've got plenty of overhead area. And we've got, I don't know, probably about 2 feet down this side without too much of an issue. So we can back it up and then pull it in onto either side depending on what we need to work on. So that'll work out good. The other thing about this is that if for some reason this dies and I need to move it, I'm in line with the big tree that's right there. So no matter what, I can put a winch or a come along or something on that tree and get it out of here. And here we have John's tractor that we're going to get back to working on now that we got everything rearranged. And this is a electric chainsaw that was sent to us. The company saw in one of the videos that we were working on cleaning out a trail in order to be able to do our test and tunes with the mud mowers. And they got a hold of us and asked us to do a testing and a review on this saw. So, I tell you what, it is very heavy, comes with 2 batteries, and what I don't like is that it has this feature that I've read up on, a low kickback. And basically, if it feels anything binding in the saw, it'll decide to go and stop the saw. So I haven't quite decided what I think about that, because if it reacts like that, just trying to fire it up in the cold, I don't know. We'll see. We got plenty of testing to do with it. And then, back here, we've got the ice racers. We interrupt this video for a coffee moment and some real talk. So unfortunately, the way that YouTube works, in order for me to go and be able to go and grow RCG Racing, I've got to get you guys to jump over there, subscribe, and get the channel up a few thousand worth of subscribers. So, unfortunately, if you want to see what was going on with the tractors that are in the garage, you're going to have to go over to RCG Racing. There'll be a link in the description so that you can click on that, go on over. Do me a favor, please subscribe so that we can grow the channel and be able to do some more cool racing type content. And if you're here in order to see what's going on with the van, that stuff's coming to you real quick. Have a good day. Alright, we got... Let's... Okay. Not quite sure what that was.